Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome to episode 7 of my 2022 bodybuilding prep. And in this episode we're going to be looking at the carb loading phase, or the filling out phase of peak week for the New South Wales titles on March the 27th 2022. So this was Friday night after getting one coat of the tan, and also one day of loading with carbs and fats. So obviously looking a little bit fuller than the last episode when I had depleted, but still nice and dry. So basically what I do when I carb load is I still have my 5 meals a day, but I drop the protein right down. I up the carbs and fats just depending on I go meal by meal and try and watch things as I go. So first meal, I'll go over the meals in a minute, but just looking at the physique, so it's not the best lighting. I've got the tan on, but still looking nice and dry even after carving up a full day. Now I had to make weight. I wanted to make the under 90s. I was waking up about 92 kilos the last week, so I was gonna have a crack at making weight for the under 90s. So I didn't really push the first day too hard with the carb load, and then this night I took the water pill, or the diuretic, or to flush the water out and try and drop the water weight. And then the weigh-in was going to be 2 p.m. The next day. So with that part, taking the diuretic is always a bit of a risky move because you don't want to flatten out too much. But I did need to take weight, did need to make weight for the weigh-in. So I decided to take half a mod on this night and see where I sort of landed. I was about 91 in the morning. So then I decided to take another half in the morning, and eventually I weighed in at 89.7 kilos. So made the weight, which was great. So just going over the diet for the Friday, and basically what I do for my carb up. So breakfast on the Friday is just rice flakes, so no eggs, rice flakes. There was a banana and 20 gram of almonds, and there was a bit of WPI in this as well, and some cranberries. So just protein, carbs and fats in that meal. But the reason why I didn't have any eggs was because of sodium. So what I do when I load, I'm trying to keep sodium to an absolute minimum. And so this is another meal. So chicken, you're looking at about 75 grams of chicken there. That was 75 grams of uncooked rice, which is about 60 grams of carbs, a banana, and also some asparagus and some spinach. And then this was another example of a meal. So that was pork, about 75 grams of pork, and then a kiwi fruit, avocado, about 50 grams of avocado, some more asparagus, and another 75 grams of rice. So trying to keep the protein low, keeping fats in there as well, mostly carbohydrates, but looking at for high potassium with the avocado and the kiwi and the spinach and all that stuff. So I have 5 meals a day, and basically just trying to keep the sodium to a minimum with all those meals. But then this is what I look like Saturday morning, which was the day of the weigh-in. The weigh-in was at 2 p.m. So as you can see here, just looking a little bit on the flatter side. Again, it's not the greatest lighting, but you can kind of tell that I was a little bit flat through the legs. So this is when I woke up about 91 kilos. I took another half of a mod. Before this, I didn't train or anything. I just did some stretching in the gym and some mobility work. So and only had 2 meals before the 2 p.m. But had meals with me for straight after the weigh-in. And what I like to do after the weigh-in is have a nice steak. I had a sirloin steak and a big serving of potatoes to try and fill back out for the next day, because you want to have be nice and full, and if possible still dry, but it's not super important. The main thing is you get as much glycogen in the muscle as possible, but trying not to spill over too much. So you still want to be fairly dry, but if you are a little bit starting to hold a bit of fluid, it's not a huge drama, because you're going to take the diuretic again and hopefully flush all that water out, and hopefully you'll remain nice and full and hard for the day of the show. So I don't have any photos of the competition yet, but this was the day after the competition at the gym, obviously still with the tan on. So I look fairly close to what I would have looked like on stage, maybe holding a little bit more water than the day before, maybe a little bit fuller, but obviously in great shape. I was very happy with the condition that I brought for the competition, but didn't manage to place in the under 90s. I still haven't placed in the under 90s, but it was a very, very tough lineup. Mike Dawn, who's a multiple time Australian champion, ended up winning. The guy who came second, Mijail, is a pro with the IFBB Elite, and he's won many titles with the IFBB Pro League as well. And the guy that came third is also another IFBB Elite Pro. I've never really come across him before, but these guys just were a little bit shorter, and obviously, pretty much close to professional bodybuilders, and just had that little bit thicker muscle. I assume I came fourth, but I was pretty close. I got a lot of good feedback from everyone, saying that my condition was very good. I do have a reputation of coming in nice and dry for the competition. Also, I did the classic where I came third in Class A, but had a little bit of a problem. As soon as I got off stage from the under 90s, I was very dehydrated and feeling faint, so I decided I had to start drinking water. And what happens when I drink water is I start to bloat in the midsection and just basically sort of spill over my physique. So that was a little bit disappointing, but at the end of the day, still came away with third. And Nationals is a month away, and hopefully can bring an even better package to the stage then. But until then, I'll catch you guys again soon.